Okay, I think we're live. What's up, guys? It's Dean. So today I'm showing you how to do crow pose. Crow pose is the most basic arm balance in yoga. Um, a lot of people, when they see this pose, and they're like, I want to do that. And it's a lot easier than it looks. I think the reason why is because if you're engaging all of your muscles properly, or if you're using your body the way that it's supposed to be used in crow pose, it takes all the pressure out of all the places that you might be dumping it into and spreads it out evenly. So it helps you out a lot. So a few of the things you need to have for crow pose. The first is obviously a really strong core. So you need to be able to hold your legs up to support your legs and control your body from fidgeting too much, from wobbling, while you're using your arm strength, your upper body strength to hold your body up. Secondly, it takes a lot of hip flexibility. You need to be able to reach your hips up pretty high on your arms to be able to do it. Okay, I think we're live. What's up, guys? It's Dean. So today I'm showing you how to do crow pose. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, another part of it, like I was saying, is hip flexibility. You need to be able to get your legs up pretty high here to be able to come up into crow pose properly. If they're down too low, then you can't really, it just doesn't work. You need to get it up higher so you can activate your core more, so you can, make it work. Thirdly, it takes upper body strength, and it takes proper form in your upper body. So there are a lot of people who have, a lot of guys especially, who have the upper body strength to be able to do it, but when they do it, when they do grow, when they set up for it, they tend to take it like a push-up. So their elbows come out to the side, and they dump too much weight into their upper body, and it just becomes very hard for them to hold. So you need to have proper form here, which is actually the same as when you're doing a yoga push-up. So Chaturanga, so a four-limbed staff pose, or halfway down. So from here, so your elbows are squeezing in, and this way you can use the support of your whole upper body instead of when you spread your arms out like this and the elbows come out to the side, then you're just using your pectorals and your arms. But when you bring it in like that and make your whole upper body one single unit, it's a lot easier for you to support yourself. So we're going to go through a little vinyasa today. So just maybe a 20-minute warm-up that's going to help build up for pose. So just get all the muscles that you need warm for it, and then we'll go into crow pose. I'll show you the variations for doing it, and yeah, we'll start there. So let's start actually with a low lunge. So just bring your right foot forward. Squeeze your left knee toward your right foot, so make it an active low lunge. Press into your right foot to get tall. See if you can bring your left hip forward, the right hip back to square your hips up, and then engage your core. Lift your arms up. Exhale, plug your arms into your shoulders. Inner rotation here. So I'm sorry, external, what are we saying? Yeah, internal rotation with the arms. So the biceps face back and the triceps face forward. So you're starting to feel these muscles right around your shoulder blades activate from that, opening up your back, making everything ready for when we eventually get into crow pose. Still feeling the hip flexors starting to open up here, feeling your core engaged, and squeezing your thighs together. So imagine that there is a magnet between your right ankle and your left knee, bringing those in together, opening up the hip flexor, engaging the core. All right, we're going to do a twist. Bring your hands down, reach the left hand forward, reach the right hand back. So an easy twist here. Another thing you can do, you can bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee, press the knee into the hand into the knee, and reach back further with the right hand. Make sure that you're gaining length in your upper body, so you're reaching your head up, you're keeping your hips the same here, so still squeezing the right ankle toward the left knee, and reaching back with the right hand, maybe looking at the hand, maybe looking just at the side. And then bring it back to center, lower your hands down, edge the right foot forward, come to an easy half split. So starting to warm up the hamstrings, warm up the lower back, toes flex toward you, thigh engages, bring your right hand to your right hip, pull it back, square your hips up. So you can look down, you can usually look at your stomach, and if you notice that your stomach is off to one side, then you're probably not squared up. So you might need to drag your right foot, your right heel, sorry, the right hip, a little back or forward, depending on how zealous you are in squaring your hips up. Sometimes you do too much. and you don't want that either. So keep the quad engaged, forward fold here, so release your chest down, reach your chest. So chest reaches down, and also chest reaches forward. So flat back as much as possible. Bend again into the front leg. Tuck the back toes, bring your right foot back to meet your left foot, and then bring the left foot forward, lower the right foot, move into a low lunge on the outside side. Squeeze the left ankle toward the right knee, press up through the left foot, engage the core, and again, that magnet between the left ankle and the right knee. So an active quad stretch, an active hip flexor opening here. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, plug in your arms to your shoulders. Inner rotate, internal rotation with the arms. So the biceps face forward, biceps face back, triceps face forward. Palms face the back, pinkies are in toward one another. And this is going to force you to, again, work on the back muscles here. Core still engaged, stacking your body. So if you notice that your chest comes to come out to maybe get a little further back with your arms, bring it in and just lift up. Bring your hands into your chest. Reach the right hand forward, reach the left hand back. Maybe bring your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Press into the knee. Reach the left hand back. So a hand is pressing into the knee is pressing into the hand. So there's two forces at work here. And the right knee is still squeezing toward the left ankle and vice versa. Still growing tall through your spine, so lifting up through your head, creating a deeper twist, looking back, and then bringing it forward, lowering your hands down, edging your left foot forward a little bit, rocking your hips back, straightening the left leg, toes flex toward you, quad engages, bring your left hand to your left hip, pull it back, so plugging your left leg into your hip socket, and then reaching forward with your chest on an inhale, exhaling, releasing down. So getting into the hamstrings here, getting into the back of the leg, the calves, and the lower back on the left side. Take a few deep breaths here. And then bend into the front knee. Tuck the back toes, come up into a runner's lunge, bring your left foot back to meet the right. Bring your upper body forward. Now this is important here. So we want to have the inner elbows here facing forward. My hands don't rotate. My hands don't move at all. My arms rotate so that my inner elbows face forward and my biceps face forward. The points of my elbows face back. And then when I go down, I'm only going halfway here. So my forearms actually don't move at all. I'm keeping a 90-degree angle bend in my arms as I go down, and my forearms stay perpendicular to the ground. My shoulders stay up. So I'm giving you all the different views here. The shoulders stay up and lifted so that I'm not hunching in here. I'm nice and straight, right? All right, so we'll do 5 of those good push-ups. So biceps facing forward. Again, you feel the same muscles activate along your back that you did, that activated when you were plugging your arms into your shoulders for that low lunge variation. So lower down halfway, forearms stay perpendicular to the ground, shoulders up, not hunched in, press back up, lower down halfway, back up, keep the core engaged here. So good plank position, belly button reaching up, heels pressed back, head lengthening forward, lower down halfway, back up, halfway, back up, last one, halfway, back up, and then lower halfway down, knees touch, chest touch, reach the toes back, toes into the ground, press, lift your chest off the ground, just using your lower body strength. So get a nice little cobra in here. And then release down, press up into a plank, tuck your toes, engage your thighs, lift your pelvis off the ground, and then come up as stiff as a board, like a plank, and then rock up and down, rock up and back with your hips, come into down dog. So down dog, again, that same internal rotation of the hands, of the arms. So biceps facing forward, triceps starting to face back, pressing into the fingers, into the index and thumb fingers. So that's an external rotation with the arms, my mistake. So external rotation with the arms, and then the forearms internally rotate, and that automatically happens because you're pressing down through your index and thumb fingers.
Heels press down toward the ground. Chest reaches toward the back of the mat. Really press into the fingers instead of pressing into the palms. Your thighs actually spin inwards, so your inner thighs are coming toward one another, and then press down through your heels. All right, let's move into it. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bring the right foot to the right knee, squeeze it tight. So we're working on core strength now because this is going to, you're going to need this for crow. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring your knee to your triceps. So get as high as you can. For crow, you're going to need to get your legs up as high as you can on your arms. So this is building that strength. Inhale back up. Exhale to the elbow. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring it to the elbow. Press into your hands, reach your upper body up, round your back as much as you can. Inhale back up. Exhale, bring it all the way forward, plant it down. Sit your hips down low, squeeze your thighs toward one another. So the left thigh comes forward, right hip comes back. Bring your chest off your thigh. Inhale, come up to a crescent lunge. Same thing with the arms here. So that internal rotation, the external rotation. What am I saying? Internal? Anyways, your arms spin so that your thumbs face out and your palms face back. Sit down lower here. So getting the core endurance here. Sorry, getting endurance here. Building up the endurance you need. Getting deep into the hip flexor here. So getting the hip flexibility you need. And then bring your arms into your center, and let's do a twist. Left arm forward, right hand back. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Keep your legs the exact same. So don't let your right leg come out to the side. Don't let it come in. Keep it exactly where it is. Thumbs are extended toward the ceiling. Fingers spread out from one another, head reaching up. Maybe look behind you for a little bit more of a challenge with balance. And then bring it back to center. Lower your hands down. Step your left foot to the back. Moving through 5 more Chaturanga push-ups here. Inner elbows face forward, triceps face back, core engaged, belly button up, slight pelvis tilt. Lower down halfway. Back up. Halfway. Back up. Halfway. Back up. Also notice how my upper body's coming forward. My forearms don't move, and my shoulders come forward, right? I'm not going down over here. I'm going over here. Back up. Last one. Shoulders are up. Back up. Lower down halfway. Lower the knees down. Lower the chest. Reach the toes back. Press the tops of all 5 toes into the ground. Inhale up, cobra. Arms aren't doing anything. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lower down. Inhale to push up. And come back into down dog. Heels press toward the back. Pressing into the index and thumb fingers and reaching your chest back toward your feet. So opening up the upper back. And again, that rotation with your arms, so your biceps start to open up, face the front. Your triceps start to face back. So that's going to open up the back muscles when we do that. All right, left leg. Left leg comes up. Exhale, bring the left knee to the left elbow. Press into the hands, round the back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to tricep. Get it up higher. Press into your hands, round your back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to elbow or tricep, maybe even the shoulder. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Plant it down. Press your heel toward the back. Lift your chest off your thigh. Straighten the back leg, and then lift up. Come to a crescent lunge. Squeeze your thighs together. A little pelvic tilt to bring your butt under your body and engage your core. Arms extend up. Plug your arms into your shoulders and rotate your hands so that your biceps back. Pinkies in. You know the spiel. Relax your hips. So don't relax your hips too much. Relax your hips to the extent that you can get 90 degrees here. If you go beyond 90 degrees, if you're going down here like this, bring it back up. So there's a balance in yoga. You want to have a equal balance of flexibility and strength. So if you're too flexy, you need to think more about strength. If you're too strength-oriented, you need to think more about being a little more flexible. Chest is in, not puffing out. Lower your hands down, extend the right hand forward, lift the left hand back. Coming into Crescent Lunge with a twist. Really reach the arms in opposite directions. Thumbs are up. Back leg is straight. Look behind you. Keep the legs just as they are. Maybe squeeze the thighs toward one another. Bring it back into center. Lower your hands down. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot. And we're back to plank for 5 more Chaturangas. Lower down halfway. Back up. Halfway. Bringing the upper body forward. Keeping the forearms where they are. Back up. Halfway. Back up. Halfway. Back up. Halfway. Back up. And lower down halfway. Lower down all the way. Reach the toes back. Tops the toes into the ground. Inhale, lift up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lengthen your head forward. Create length from your toes to your head. And then release down. Tuck your toes. Engage the thighs. Lift your pelvis off the ground. Inhale back up. And exhale. Move into down dog. Take a deep breath. Press your thumbs and your index fingers into the ground. Reach the hips up and back. Bend the knees. Reach the hips up. And then straighten the knees. So get a little deeper. All right, inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bring the right foot forward. Plant it down. Spin the back foot down at a 90-degree angle, almost 90 degrees. Move up into Warrior Two. Squeezing thighs together. Stacking the right knee over the right ankle. Arms into center, and then arms out. Squeezing your thighs together to bring your hips forward. Bring your butt onto your body, and then engage your core. Arms level with your shoulders. Looking straight over your middle finger. Looking down at your front knee, making sure that the knee is over the ankle, and that you can see your big toe around the knee there. And then if you notice that you're leaning forward too much, bring it back. Stack the hips on the shoulders. Your upper body should feel weightless here. Your lower body and your core are doing all the work. Keep the back leg really strong by pressing into the outside of that back foot. Keep it straight. And then flip the front hand, reverse warrior. Reach up and back. Left hand slides down the left leg. And then bring it to side angle. Bring your outside of your right wrist to the inside of your right knee. Left hand reaches up. Left shoulder rolls back to open up your chest to the left side of the room. And then bend a little more to the front knee. Squeeze your hip, your right hip, toward the left side of the room. So in the direction that you're looking. So you open up your hip a little bit more. And then bring it back to Warrior Two. Lower your hands down. Bend your foot. Reach the right foot back. 5 more Chaturanga push-ups. Halfway down. Back up. Down. Back up. Keeping your elbows in tight. Back up. Lower down. Back up. Lower down. Keep the core engaged. Make sure your shoulders are up. Back up. Lower down. Knees touch. Chest touches. Reach the toes back. Inhale to Cobra. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your head forward. Neck elongates. And then release down. Tuck the toes. Straighten the legs. Bring the pelvis off the ground. Push back up into plank. And move into down dog. All right, inhale the left leg up. Exhale, bring the left foot forward. Plant it down. Spin the back foot down. Moving into Warrior Two on the opposite side now. Pressing into the outside of the back foot. Bend to the front knee. Knee comes over ankle. Back leg is straight and strong. Thigh is engaged. Squeeze your thighs toward one another to bring your hips forward to the right side of the room. And then bring your arms up shoulder level. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Bend a little more to the front knee, and then restack your shoulders. So if you look down at your left foot, you should be able to see your big toe. If you can't, reach the left knee over toward the left side. You can also bring your left hand to the inside of the knee give it a little manual boost. So you should be able to feel, well, even without a mirror, where your upper body is. You should be able to feel it stack above your shoulder, your hips, so your upper body isn't doing any work. And then flip your hand, the front hand, reach it up, reverse warrior, get a nice big stretch, and then bring it to the outside of the left wrist, the inside of the left knee. Reach the right hand up, bring the right shoulder back, bend more into the front knee, squeeze your left hip toward the direction that your chest is opening up into. Keep the back leg straight, keep everything strong in the bottom. Bring it back into warrior two. Windmill your arms down, bring your front foot, step your left foot back, lower down halfway, back up, 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 and moving down, all the way down. Tuck the toes, untuck the toes, hands under your shoulders, lift your chest up. Cobra. Elongate your neck and release down. Tuck the toes, flex the thighs, bring the hips up, come up, and there's 1 unit. Move back into down dog. All right, we're going to do one more pose to open up the hips, and then we're going to move into crow pose. So inhale the right leg up, exhale, bring the right foot to the outside with the right hand. Pull the right hip up and back, left hip down and forward. Reach your chest forward. So lowering your hips as much as you can while keeping the back leg straight and strong. At the same time, pulling your chest forward, so creating a straight back as much as you can. And then lower the back knee, untuck the back foot. Inhale, lift forward. Exhale, start to lower down. Right hip still coming up and back, left hip coming down forward. So see if you can really give into the right leg. Don't let the right knee splay out to the side. You can't tell from this angle, but my right knee is staying in to my shoulder here. And maybe you can lower your forearms down to the ground and get a really nice deep stretch here in the hip flexor and in the adductors. Keep lowering the hips down. Keep seeing if your hip can go a little lower. And we'll come out of that. So tuck, straighten the arms, tuck the back foot, straighten the back leg. Bring your right foot back, and then bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Make sure your forearms are pressing evenly into the ground. Flex your back leg, so squeeze that thigh tight, and then pull your chest forward. See if your knee stacks over your ankle. It should. And then start to lower your upper body down, maybe. Releasing your hips down to the ground as much as you can. Start to feel your adductors opening up in the insides of your thighs. And start to feel the hip flexor in your right leg starting to open up. So right hip down and forward, left hip up and back. And then lower the knee down, untuck the foot. Inhale, lift your chest forward. And then exhale, lower your forearms down to the ground. Or just stay right here. Use your right hand to guide your left forearm down to the ground. Just make sure you're keeping the majority of the weight here in your left side. Don't let it sway over to the right side by moving your hands over here. And then all the pressure of the stretch is on the right side. And we're really focusing on the left side here. A couple more breaths here. And then straighten your arms. Bring your left foot back to meet your right foot. We'll do one more vinyasa. Lower down halfway. Lower down all the way. Inhale to cobra. And lower down, exhale. Inhale up the plank. Exhale, down dog. All right, so now we're going to move into crow pose. So to set up the crow, we're going to start with a yogi squat position. So hands about shoulder width apart. The feet behind either hand, pointing out at about 45-degree angles, or as much as your hips can allow for. And then work yourself down into this nice squat position here. Keep squeezing the midlines. Keep squeezing your thighs toward the midline. So you're not just dumping into your hips here. You're keeping some muscles engaged in your lower body. Sit up as straight as you can.
Press your knees into your elbows. You're going to be doing that later with crow pose. So squeeze in here, lift your chest up, and then lower your hands down, shoulder width apart. Reach your knees up as high as you can, and see if you can bring your knees up as high as you can, so toward your armpits, and see if you can bring your lower legs to stack on top of your triceps. Your elbows are squeezing in toward the middle, just like you were doing in Chaturanga push-ups. And then you'll notice that in this position, your heels are raised up. Your core starts to shake a little bit. It's like, what's going on there, you know? It's wondering what's about to happen. And then if you can, start to transfer the weight out of one foot. As you transfer the weight out of one foot, just keep squeezing the elbow in toward the middle, and then squeeze the knee in toward the elbow. Transfer weight out of the other foot, squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the knee in toward the inner elbow. Bring your toes together, reach your heels up toward your butt, and then lift forward. So we're not going back. It's like you're about to fall on your face, but squeezing your legs into your elbows or your triceps, squeezing your elbows in toward one another, and then lengthening your neck. So relaxing your neck. You want to relax the rhomboids, relax the traps, and then lower down. So that's crow pose. So that's one way to get into it. There are many ways to get into it, a lot of different variations. You can also jump into crow from down dog. One other thing that I'd like to show, so common problems with crow pose. A lot of people like to, especially guys, they like to try and just use the upper body to do it. And I was guilty of this for a while too. Just because you have the upper body strength to do it, you can just, pretty much do this. Elbows out to the side, knees here, you can do this. But you're not using your core at all. You're dipping forward, and that's not crow pose. You also can't straighten the arms from there and move into full crow pose or crane pose. So the remedy for that is, again, thinking about the Chaturanga arms, the yoga push-up arms that you use. So the elbows squeezing in toward one another, shoulder width distance apart, the inner elbows facing forward. So instead of push-ups like this, again, like this, so inner elbows forward, biceps back, biceps forward, grabbing the ground with your fingers, not just pressing with the palms, but using everything that you can in the hands here, so really grabbing everything. And then this makes it a lot easier to do, especially on your upper body. So now the core is more involved, and then I can straighten the arms and actually move in crane, and then I can actually move up into a handstand from here too. So there's lots of different possibilities, lots of different options for crow pose. And then I can come back down into crow pose from here, keeping the elbows in, and move back into a squat. So tons of different stuff you can do from crow as long as you're doing it properly with the arms in. The second major problem is, and I'm also once guilty of this, the shoulders coming over the body, shoulders coming too far. So we tend to bend our arms too much, and our shoulders come forward like this, and we start to dip. So it looks something like this when it happens. Right? So we're down too far here. Keep the arms straight. Keep your head reaching forward. And you can fix this by keeping your gaze focused in front of you and your neck relaxed. So instead of looking down, because wherever you focus your gaze, that's where your body's going to go. So when you look down at the ground, your body's like, okay, I'm going down to the ground. And you might fall on your face. If you're looking in front of you, you have a much better chance of reaching forward, getting that length in your body, thinking about always coming back to mountain pose, and especially, probably one of the most important things about mountain pose, at least in your upper body, is the shoulders relax away from your neck. So you have this nice long neck, instead of crunching up here like this. That's how you can pull your muscles pretty easily like that, strain your muscles like this, overwork. So relax the shoulders. Next thing, hips not going high enough. So that's a huge problem. A lot of people, they get their legs right about here, and then they go up It's way too hard, right? So this, way too hard. So you want to, one way to do this is to actually forward fold, bend your knees as much as you need to, set your arms up, and then reach your heels up to the ground, come onto your toes, and then reach, really reach up. Reach your knees up toward your armpit, see how high you can get, and then bring your knees on to the highest point of your arms that you can reach. Now my arms are up really high, and this is really easy to do, right? So I can straighten my arms, and I can do core stuff here too. So the higher the knees up on your arms, the easier it is. One other variation that I like to show is instead of kind of bringing your knees out to the side like this. So one way to do it is, see my knees are out to the side like that, elbows in, hands are a little off. Anyways, that's one variation. The other variation is to bring your knees directly on top of your triceps. So reach your knees up toward the ceiling, really bring your knees into your armpits here, still keeping Chaturanga arms, and then just setting your knees on top of your triceps up here like this. So from the side, that looks like this. Knees are up into your armpits, Chaturanga arms, so inner elbows facing forward, and then rising up onto your triceps. Digging your knees into your triceps, and then extending your arms. Heels up toward your butt, and back down. So, that was crow pose. That was a few common mistakes in crow pose. Ways to build up the crow pose. So that's the next section. Chaturanga. So those push-ups that we were doing, like this, right? Getting you the upper body strength to be able to do that, and doing so in a way that reflects what you're going to do in crow pose. So push-ups are great, weights are great, but if you do these over and over again, you mimic the movement that you're going to do in crow pose, so you can specifically train for doing crow pose. That also translates, Chaturanga push-ups like this also translate into handstand, into, let's see, into handstand, and into, well, other stuff. You'll notice that that external rotation of the arms comes here as well, right? Same concept. Biceps facing back, triceps forward. The only thing that changes is where my hand faces. So when I'm doing this, when I'm in a crescent lunge or a warrior pose, inner elbows are facing forward. Then I lower down, arms don't change. Inner elbows are still facing forward. So inner elbows are facing back and then change planes, so they're facing. Anyways, this happens everywhere. The only thing that's changing is where your hand is. Secondly, core strength. So there are thousands of different ways to train your core, to make your abs stronger, to be able to hold your body up like that. One of the best ways for crow specifically is that three-legged down dog exercise, where you're reaching one leg up and then bringing it to meet the elbow or the tricep, so getting it up as high as you can. So that's really going to help build up your core strength. Doing that over and over again in conjunction with chaturangas. And then hip flexibility. You've seen a lot of my videos, hopefully. Maybe you haven't, but hip flexibility, do yoga for hip flexibility. Some poses, warrior two. Warrior two. Let's see, low lunges, runner's lunges, lizard pose, what we did today. All the poses that we did today are focused on hip opening. Crescent lunge. Crescent lunge is awesome for hip opening. I think that's really all that I have today for the crow pose tutorial. Again, if you have questions, comments, please leave me a video response, leave me comments. Other than that, I've got a few of these t-shirts left. So Manful Yoga t-shirts, the Manful Yoga symbol on the front, and then on the back, the larger Manful Yoga symbol with Get Yoga Ripped on the top, on the shoulders. Also offering remote training, so training via web chat, just like this. So if you're interested in that, send me an email, dean@manfulyoga.com. Other than that, follow Facebook, check on the website every Monday, new post of the week every Thursday, a new blog, and videos whenever I can. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Cheers.